Hello, welcome to Leadership Live with Anton Gunn. And if you are in a toxic workplace, today's conversation is for you because I'm going to show you how to escape from a toxic workplace. Now, I don't use the word escape very lightly or loosely because literally being in a toxic workplace can feel like you're trapped. It can feel like you're behind bars. It can feel like that you are locked in. And sometimes we want to escape, but we don't know how. Sometimes we don't even know what we need to escape. And today's Leadership Live is really going to be on 5 things you need to know to escape a toxic workplace. So this won't be a long conversation today. It will be deep and robust. And if you know anybody who's in a toxic workplace, I need you to share this video with them right now, that we should not allow them to miss out on this important information that could be the difference in their safety and their sanity, or them being trapped in an organization or on a team working for a leader that is toxic. So if you need to escape a toxic workplace, then I'm encouraging you to share this video, listen in, take notes, pay attention to what I'm going to walk through. And again, 5 things. I won't give you 10 things or 100 things or 40 things, but I will give you 5 things. And then I'll connect to this video the 5 signs that you're in a toxic workplace, just so you can have more of what I'm going to talk about. And that leads me in to number 1. Before you can escape a toxic workplace, you have to recognize the signs that you're in a toxic workplace. I want you to think back to when you were younger and you lived where you lived growing up, and you did a fire drill in your house. Like literally you had to do a fire drill. You had to do a fire drill at school. We all have been through a fire drill. And the first thing you have to do in a fire drill is to recognize the signs that something is on fire. Do you smell smoke? Do you see smoke? Do you see fire? Is the door hot on the other side? So, because you never want to start just running because you think the house is on fire without recognizing that you might be running into more fire. Or maybe what you're feeling or smelling is something else and it's not fire. Maybe it's coming out from outside. You don't know. So it's really, really important that you recognize the signs that something is on fire. And so this example is you need to recognize the signs that you're in a toxic workplace. Now, I'm not going to spend the whole video laying out every sign that you're in a toxic workplace, but here's what I am going to invite you to do. If you know a sign of a toxic workplace, I want you to drop it into the comments. I want you to share with me the signs that you know that are evidence of a toxic workplace. But I'm going to give you a few. Number 1, are you excluded from information that you need to know to do your job well? That's a sign of a toxic workplace, is that if people are hoarding information and keeping information from you or other people that you need to know in order to be able to do your job, that is a sign of a toxic workplace. Here's a second sign. Do you work for leaders who are passive aggressive? See, passive aggressive leaders are the ones who don't speak up and say that they have a problem with something that you've done or something that you've done. Instead, they will go and they will talk bad about you behind your back. They will go prohibit you from getting promoted or getting a transfer because they're bad-mouthing you behind your back. That's passive aggressive leadership. A third sign is microaggressions. Now, for those of you who don't know what microaggressions are, I'm not about to educate you now. I got plenty of content on my YouTube channel, on my blog page at antongunn.com to explain to you what microaggressions are and what you need to look out for. But if you have them inside your organization, that is a sign of a toxic workplace. Here's another sign that you don't have good communication in your organization, that they're not just excluding you from information, but the basic stuff that everybody knows, nobody really communicates about. That's a sign of a toxic workplace. Here's another sign that literally you have a high turnover rate. That think about your team. Think about the team that you're on. Let's just imagine that there are 10 people on your team and all of you are high performers. You're elite at the skill that you deliver to the organization. Elite. But in the period of about a year or two, 50% of those elite people have left the organization. They outright quit or got another job. That should be concerning to you that something is wrong in your culture. Here's another example. Let's just say not only is it a high performer and an elite performer, but it's someone that everybody would categorize as the good people at work. You know, Mary, she's good people. Tom, he's good people. Rashad, he's good people. Walter, he's good people. See, we all got good people that we work with. But you need to understand that if the good people start to leave, that's a sign that you might be in a toxic workplace and that you need to escape too. Because if you're a good person, who wants to be the only good person in an organization? Nobody. You want to be in an organization full of good people. But there is a chance that if you got exclusion, microaggressions, passive aggressive leaders, high turnover, and the good people are leaving, you're in a toxic workplace culture. And you can't run away from something without knowing if there's a problem first. You got to know the signs. Here's the second thing that you need to know about escaping a toxic workplace culture is, and this is a secret, stop waiting for HR to come and save you, because they're not. We've heard over and over again, or at least I hear over and over again, how people don't trust human resources. Now, I think the human resource team should be the best team in the organization, the team that everybody relies on for them to be empowered and impactful in the organization. But sometimes HR gets a reputation of not being there to build a great culture and support employees, but they're only there to protect the company. They're not there for you. They're there for the bosses. They're not there for you. They're there for the reputation of the industry. And so they become reactive. They become compliance driven, that they don't do anything to proactively educate or empower people in the organization. And let's be clear, every HR should be focused on empowering people and giving them what they need to be successful. So if you have an organization where your HR is compliance driven only and they're reactive and not proactive, they're not putting together trainings or doing things that help and support you to grow in a position, or if you clearly feel like they have done their job to protect the company from litigation, lawsuits, or any kind of backlash, and they're not there fighting for the employees, then know that you can't wait on them to save you. You can't wait on them to come and bail you out and get you out of that toxic environment, because it's not about to happen. Now, here's the third thing that I want you to understand and know about how to escape a toxic workplace culture is to know that you are not weak for leaving the organization. I'm going to repeat that you are not weak for leaving an organization. You are not a quitter. Now, the reason why I'm saying all of this to you because I've been in a toxic organization that had those microaggressions, that exclusion, the passive aggressive behavior, the poor leadership, the high turnover rate, that the compliance people were about protecting the institution and were not about protecting the people who work there, that they literally were reactive and not proactive. And it really was about protecting the brand, and they could care less about me. And when those two things happen, the third thing that I was told is that if I quit, I'm weak. That if I walk away from this environment, then I'm soft, then I'm a punk. I mean, they use all kinds of words. And this was back in the late 90s. So it wasn't a good time where people said all kinds of exclusive terms and negative terms and offensive terms. But I was told that I was weak if I quit. So I'm here to tell you that if you need to quit a toxic workplace, you're not weak for quitting. You're not at all weak for quitting. As a matter of fact, you are smart because you have chosen to protect yourself and choose respect and self-love over stress, over strife, over survival mode. That's what I mean. See, I was in survival mode when I was in that organization. I was doing whatever I needed to do to survive. Like I was doing the bare minimum. Task masking, as the term is used today in corporate America. Task masking is pretending to look like you're busy when you're not really busy, but you're really looking for another job. So I want you to know that if you're in a toxic workplace and you see the signs and you understand that HR ain't going to come and save you, the third thing you need to know is that you're not weak for quitting. As a matter of fact, you're doing the smart thing and the right thing, that you're closing yourself off from negative energy, things that will be a detriment to you emotionally, financially, all of the above. You're not a quitter. You're choosing sanity and safety and self-respect over survival mode. And I'm okay with that, and you need to be okay with that. Okay? The fourth thing you need to know about how to exit, how to escape a toxic workplace is that before you can escape, you might need to lead right where you are. So what do I mean lead right where you are? You might lead your own. The whole organization might be toxic, but that don't mean your team has to be toxic. The whole organization might be toxic, but doesn't mean you need to be toxic. Doesn't mean you need to be disrespectful. It doesn't mean that you need to be mistreating people. You don't have to give it as you get it. You can choose to be better. So I'm telling you right now, for the people that you lead, the team that you're on, don't reiterate and emulate their toxic behavior. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that at all. You just need to understand that you can be better and show people a better way that you have control over or influence over. You may not be able to control what comes out of the C-suite, but you can control what happens on your team. And if you don't lead that team, you can control how you act and react to what's going on. I'm telling you right now, you got to lead from right where you are. Don't matter if you have a title or not. You got to lead from right where you are. And here's sign number 5 is that you got to create your exit plan. How are you going to get out? Now, let me give you my framework of what you need to include in your exit plan. What you need to include in your exit plan is that you have 6 months of savings saved up. And when I mean savings, I'm not just talking about a little bit of money in your savings account. I'm talking about 6 months of your salary saved up. 6 months. Now, why am I telling you as a part of your exit plan to save 6 months of salary? Because the job market is tightening right now. And it's tightening, and every company not hiring right now. So for 6 months, you might need to be looking for a job or find the right opportunity. So you want to protect yourself before you wreck yourself. You do that by saving up 6 months of salary. Second thing you need to do while you're still working, take every opportunity to take every professional development class that exists at work. Like literally exhaust all of your pay, benefits, leave time to upskill yourself. Get some new skills. Take a course on AI. Do something to sharpen you up to make you distinguishable from all of the other candidates out there that are looking for another job. You literally want to boost your skills. Now, let me tell you where you boost your skills, and this is part C of your exit plan, is that you need to be involved in your professional association. If you're not a member of your professional association and go to the conferences and meeting, not just the state level, but the national conferences, you're missing a huge opportunity to not only get great skill development from the workshops at your annual convention, but to network with people who do what you do in other parts of the country for other organizations. Because your next career opportunity is going to come because of the relationships that you have before anything else. So if you don't have relationships because you ain't never been to a conference, because you don't network with anybody, you don't serve on any committees, then you're giving yourself a harder road to hoe if you need to exit this toxic culture. So number one, save up 6 months worth of money. Number two, make sure you take advantage of every upskilling opportunity at work and outside of work, which is number three, be involved in your professional association, network, add value, be useful to the people in the association. And the last thing I'll tell you about building your exit plan is that you really need to decide where do you want to go, what do you want to do, and what's most important. Because there's plenty of people who will take a pay cut to work in a toxic-free environment. If that's you, then you need to evaluate that how much of a pay cut will I take to work in a toxic-free environment. So there you have it. The 5 things you need to know if you want to escape a toxic workplace. How to escape a toxic workplace. Number 1, recognize the signs. Number 2, stop waiting for HR to save you. Number 3, the big point is that you know that you're not weak for leaving. I want to remind you you're not weak for leaving. Just it's okay for you to walk out. Number 4 is to recognize that you have some power to lead and to lead right where you are. And then lastly, make your exit plan. Build it out in detail. And if this is you and you're in a toxic workplace and you need some help, you need some assistance, you need some support, then don't be afraid to reach out on the contact form, antongunn.com/contact. Send me a message. Maybe we can set up a strategy call on how I can help you to get out. But I want you to get out. I want you to get out. You don't deserve to work in a toxic workplace. Nobody does. And I'm willing to give you this message, give you this content to show you how to escape a toxic workplace. And let me tell you, I stayed way too long in a toxic workplace. I stayed way too long. And I didn't have an exit plan. But I never made that mistake again. So whenever things get toxic, I'm going to get out. I got a plan. And you now have a plan. So I want to thank you for watching this week's episode of Leadership Live with Anton Gunn. See you next Wednesday. Same bat time, same bat channel. Everybody have a fantastic day. Take care.